Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 1, Text 13. Does anyone remember what section we are at?
We are reading about Priyavrat Maharaj and how he went to the mountain he was meditating, and Narad Muni and Swambhu Manu was also there, and then Brahmaji came and he was trying to tell him that you should follow the household life, and you have to take up all the responsibility now. It's your time, because as Uttanpad's Maharaj lineage has come to the end, so Manu Maharaj went to Priyavrat, and then he asked Brahmaji, and Brahmaji came and he was convincing him and telling him that how things are and what it is. So we are on that part.
Yeah, thank you so much. And how was Brahmaji trying to convince Priyavrat? What was the point that he was trying to convince him?
That your devotion is not lost. Like
Yeah.
the devotional service is never lost. So even if you enter the Grahastha life, your devotional service, you can connect everything to Krishna in your Grahastha life. And that's how he was trying to convince. And
Yeah. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. And he was also trying to tell him that it is God's wish. It's the will of the Supreme Lord for Priyavrat to become the emperor. Brahmaji was saying that he himself, or even Lord Shiva or Narad Muni, although they are such great personalities in the universe, they hold such important positions in the universe. They themselves are not independent of the control of God, of the will of God. So, yes. So let's begin. Bhavaya nashaya cha karma kartum. Shokaya mohaya sada bhayaya.
Shokaya mohaya sada bhayaya.
Sukhaya dukkhaya cha deha yogam.
Sukhaya dukkhaya cha deha yogam.
Avyartadishtam janatam gadhatte.
Avyartadishtam janatam gadhatte.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. My dear Priyavrat, by the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all living entities accept different types of bodies for birth and death, activity, lamentation, illusion, fear of future dangers, and happiness and distress. Every living entity who has come to this material world has come here for material enjoyment, but according to his own karma activities, he must accept a certain type of body given to him by material nature under the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So what type of body we get, what is that based on?
It depends on our karma.
Karma and desires.
Yes. And desire, yes. Thank you. And under whose law is this? Who's deciding this?
Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna.
Yes. Thank you. So because we say law of karma, but we have to understand this law of karma, the lawmaker is God. Krishna is the lawmaker. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 3:27, Prakrite kriyamanani gune karmani sarvashaha. Everything is being done by Prakriti, material nature, under the direction of the Supreme Lord. So we are being reminded again and again that this material energy, universal energy, she's not independent. We say there is some universal power. We say there is some energy there. The universe is calling. But who does all this? Whose energy is it? Belongs to God, to the Supreme Lord. And this energy is working under God's will. Everything is happening under His control. It is said that not even a blade of grass moves without the will of Krishna. So even a blade of grass, how it's going to move, it has the sanction of Krishna. Modern scientists do not know why there are varieties of bodies in 8,400,000 forms. The fact is that all these bodies are ordained for the living entities by the Supreme Personality of Godhead according to the living entity's desires. So you know how this number 8,400,000 counts? Like how there are these three primary colors, red, and then we have yellow, right?
Green, yeah.
And blue, right? These three primary colors. Then how we mix, to what degree we mix each of them with the other, we can create so many different colors. And we can see now more and more colors are being created, which we didn't see before. So these three modes of nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance, they combined in different degrees. And then comes the 8,400,000, because it is this 8,400,000 ways that we want to enjoy this material world. This kind of, these bodies are so created with different combination of modes of nature based on different types of desires that we have to enjoy this world. So he gives, and all this is happening under the order of the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's not just random, it's not coincidence, it's not that the laws or the modes just manifested by themselves. Who is the creator of the modes? Is God. He gives the living entities freedom to act as they like, but on the other hand, they must accept a body according to the reactions of their activities. So Krishna does not interfere with our free will. God does not interfere with our free will. But however we act, we get a body based on that. Thus, there are different types of bodies. Like, we can see also. For example, now, why more and more people need to wear glasses? Because we are not using our vision to see far away. So we are just limiting our vision. So our body is getting used to just seeing close by. So we need glasses. Well, that's one of the reasons. Okay. The eye doctor was telling me. Anyway, so we can see that what type of desire we have, what type of activity we are doing, based on that, we are getting different bodies. Paramatma says, you have a desire to enjoy in this way, I'll give you a body in which you will be really able to enjoy in that way. Then that body, when we get, we might say, oh, how I can get that body? But then Paramatma is saying, well, but you want to do this particular activity, right? So, like, for example, eating meat, then we get a body which is suitable to eating meat, like that of a lion, like that. So some living entities have short durations of life, whereas others live for fantastic durations. Every one of them, however, from Brahma down to the ant, acts according to the direction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is sitting in everyone's heart. So is the Paramatma in the heart of the demigods?
Yes.
Yes.
Do the demigods also have to listen to orders of God?
Yes.
Yeah. So who has the longest life in this universe?
Brahmaji.
Brahma. Bra-
Yeah. Thank you. That's right. Thank you. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 15.15, Sarvasya chaham hridi sanivishto matasmritir jnanam apohanam cha. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. So Paramatma is there in everyone's heart, be it a hog or a dog or a demigod, everyone. And it's Paramatma who's giving us remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. So we can't do that, we cannot say such things. It's not that we are giving people their remembrance, knowledge, forgetfulness. No, we are in fact getting our remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness from Paramatma. We, the individual soul, we completely get enamored, we forget everything. Then Paramatma reminds us. So there's a difference we can see. That we are dependent on Paramatma. We are dependent on God. So it is not a fact, however, that the Supreme Personality of Godhead gives direction to certain living entities in one way and other living entities in another way. The truth is that every living entity has a certain desire, and the Supreme Lord gives him a chance to fulfill it. So everything is based on our desire. Whatever we are desiring, God is fulfilling that. Paramatma is fulfilling that. The best course, therefore, is to surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead and act according to his desire. One who does so is liberated. So Prabhupada is saying that, okay, we all have our desires, but what is the best thing we should do is fulfill God's desire, because that is the duty of every living entity. We, each of us, each living entity, we are spirit soul. We are not the body. We are spirit soul. We are part and parcel of God. And because we are part and parcel of God, we have a duty towards God, just like the son has a duty towards the father. So we, the individual souls, we are all children of God. So we have a particular duty towards God. And when one acts according to God's desire, then he's liberated because he's completely understood he's not the body, he's spirit soul. He has realized that knowledge. So that is liberation, because that is the real position of every soul, every individual soul. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. Yadva chitantya gunakarma dhamabhi
Yat
Yatvachi
Vachi
Satyam Karma
sudushtare sudushtare revatsavayam suyojita.
Sudushtare Vatsya
Svayam
Vayam Suyojita
Sarve vahamo balim ishvaraya
Sarve Vahamo
Bali
Balimishwaraya
protana siva dvipade chatuspada.
Prota
Protana
Nasiva Pade
Padechaspada.
Chatuspada.
My dear boy, all of us are bound by the Vedic injunctions to the divisions of Varna Sharma according to our qualities and work. Varna Ashram, according to qualities and work. These divisions are difficult to avoid because they are scientifically arranged. We must therefore carry out our duties of Varna Sharma Dharma like bulls obliged to move according to the direction of a driver, pulling on ropes knotted to their noses. So in this verse, the words Tantyam Gunakarma Dhamabhi are very important. We each get a body according to our association with the gunas, the qualities or modes of material nature, and we act accordingly. So we just heard in the previous verse 8,400,000 species of life, because the different combinations of the different modes, the different varieties, and the way that we want to enjoy. So then now what happens? The modes are controlling the body. And because we think we are the body, we are acting according and under the control of the modes. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, the four orders of the social system, namely Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra, are arranged according to guna and karma. Guna karma vibhagasa, Krishna says. Krishna is not saying it's based on birth. He says, I have created this Varna Sharma system based on guna and karma, based on nature and based on the activities, their qualities and work. Guna is the qualities, the nature, the the natural quality that someone has, the nature that one has. And then the work one is inclined to do based on that. So guna and karma. There's some controversy about this. However, because some say that since one receives a body according to the guna and karma of his past life, it is one's birth that determines his social status. Others say, however, that one's birth according to the guna and karma of his past life is not the essential consideration, since one can change his guna and karma even in this life. So, to the caste system, people wanted to introduce the caste system. So, what they said, the guna and karma, or how we are getting guna karma, how we are getting this body, is because of our past desires, our past karma. Based on that, we are getting current body. And current body, whatever we are getting, is under the modes of nature. And so then the modes are forcing us to act in a particular way. So birth is important. But Prabhupada is helping us understand why birth is not important. Why? Because guna and karma can be changed. Karma is not eternal. Guna is not eternal. It can be changed. Thus, they say that the four divisions of the social order, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra, should be arranged according to the guna and karma of this life. Like we see, Vishwamitra, he was a great Kshatriya, he was a king, but he changed, he became a Brahmana, right? Or Parshuram, he was a Brahmana, he changed to a Kshatriya. So, guna and karma can be changed, it's not based on birth. But yes, one must work according to one's guna. This version is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam by Narad Muni while instructing Maharaj Yudhishthir about the symptoms of guna and karma. Narad Muni said that these symptoms must govern the divisions of society. In other words, if a person born in the family of a Brahmin has the symptoms of a Shudra, he should be designated as a Shudra. Similarly, if a Shudra has Brahmanical qualities, he should be designated a Brahmana. So then it becomes natural, Here, Prabhupada is quoting Narad Muni telling Yudhishthir that if somebody is born in a Brahmana family, but his qualities of a Shudra, better he should act as a Shudra then. No need to put unnecessary pressure. When we put undue pressure, then that's where the problems come. But if we can work according to our nature, we can be peaceful. Similarly, Shudra has Brahmanical qualities, he should be allowed to do the Brahmanical work because that's his natural inclination. So even the Varna Sharma society was there in Vedic times, and now in Kali Yuga we do not have any formal Varna Sharma as such, it's not formal. But yet, because we are always being governed by these gunas, each of us have some natural inclination to act in a particular way. We should act in that way. Take up that kind of work, which is natural to us. The Varna Sharma system is scientific. Therefore, If we accept the divisions of Varna and Ashram according to the Vedic instructions, our lives will be successful. Unless human society is thus divided and arranged, it cannot be perfect. So, working according to our natural inclination, as stated in the Vishnu Puran 3.8.9, Varna Shramacharvata Purushena Parapuman Vishnur Aradhyate Pantha Nanyatattosha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, is worshipped by the proper execution of prescribed duties in the system of Varna and Ashram. There is no other way to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One must be situated in the institution of the four Varnas and Ashrams. So, God has structured the society in such a way so each of us can be peaceful, live in harmony with each other, and at the same time cultivate spiritual knowledge. This is how God has structured the society. And by acting in whatever particular duty that we have been given, we can satisfy God, doing our duties for the satisfaction of God. All of human society is meant to worship Lord Vishnu. When any work is done for pleasure of Lord Vishnu or Krishna or God is called sacrifice. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita chapter 3 that work must be done as sacrifice to Lord Vishnu, otherwise work binds us to this material world. So we cannot stop working. We have to work. But now how to work? The art of work. This is what God is teaching us, art of working. Work for the pleasure of God. Work for the pleasure of Krishna. At the present moment, however, human society does not know that this is the ultimate goal or perfection of life. Therefore, instead of worshipping Lord Vishnu, people have been educated to worship matter. According to the direction of modern society, men think they can advance in civilization by manipulating matter to build skyscrapers, big roads, automobiles, and so on. Such a civilization must certainly be called materialistic because its people do not know the goal of life. The goal of life is to reach Vishnu, but instead of reaching Vishnu, people are bewildered by the external manifestation of the material energy. So, whatever we do is meant to be for satisfaction of God. So that when we act in that way, then we can be with God. We can associate with God. We can go to the spiritual world and live with God. Therefore, progress and material advancement is blind, and the leaders of such material advancement are also blind. They are leading their followers in the wrong way. Thinking that this material world is all in all is incomplete knowledge. There is another world, spiritual world, where each of us belong to. And God is the controller of both the spiritual and material world. And we each of us have a loving relationship with God. This human life is given to us to revive this relationship. So, working for the pleasure of God helps us to revive this, becoming God conscious. It is best, therefore, to accept the injunctions of the Vedas, which are mentioned in this verse as Yadvachi. In accordance with those injunctions, everyone should find out whether he is a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra, and should thus be educated accordingly. Then his life will be successful. Otherwise, all of human society will be confused. If human society is divided scientifically according to Varna and Ashram, and if the Vedic directions are followed, one's life, regardless of his position, will be successful. It is not that Brahmanas will be elevated to the transcendental platform, but not the Shudras. If the Vedic injunctions are followed, all of them, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudras, will be elevated to the transcendental platform. and their lives will be successful. So Prabhupada is helping us understand, because we think that the Brahmana is the most intelligent, so we should all become Brahmana. No, we work according to our nature, and each of us can get liberated if we work for the pleasure of God according to our own nature. That is going to be successful. It's not that because I'm a Shudra, I cannot get liberation. No, everyone can get liberation. The injunctions in the Vedas are explicit directions from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The example cited in this verse is that bulls tied by ropes in their nostrils move according to the direction of the driver. Similarly, if we move according to the instructions of the Vedas, the perfect paths for our lives will be set. So, Sadhu, Guru, and Shastra are molding our life according to the instructions of the scriptures, Sadhu, and the pure devotee, the Guru. Otherwise, if we do not move in that way, but act according to our whimsical ideas, our lives will be spoiled by confusion and will end in despair. Actually, because people at the present moment are not following the instructions of the Vedas, they are all confused. We must therefore accept this instruction by Lord Brahma to Priyavrat as the factual scientific direction leading to the success of life. So Prabhupada is saying, this point, Lord Brahma is explaining to Priyavrat. It's a scientific explanation because naturally we have this gunas, this nature by which we are inclined to do a certain type of work. And this can bring us success if we act in this way for the pleasure of God. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 16:23. Yashastra vidhim utsrijya vartate kamakarata na sasiddhim avapnoti na sukham na param gatim. If we do not live according to the injunctions of the Shastras, the Vedas, we shall never achieve success in life, to say nothing of happiness or elevation to higher statuses of living. So Krishna is also saying, follow the scriptures to achieve success, to become happy, to elevate our consciousness. So the Shastras are telling us, Kali Yuga Dharma Harinam Sankirtan. The sadhus are telling us, continue to hear Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. Lord Chaitanya himself, Krishna came as Lord Chaitanya. He was instructing everyone, study Bhagavatam, study the Bhagavad Gita, and chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And in this way, we can make our lives successful. Did anyone want to add anything or comment anything?
No, I just wanted to say, like how you mentioned that the desires, if there is any desire, then we have to come back. So in one of the lectures, Adi Gadadhar Prabhu was saying that if you have a desire even to eat a chocolate, then you have to come back as an ant or any other uh, jeev who eats chocolate somehow. So be very, very careful with your desires. We were just stuck with the desires, and then there comes the varnashram that, you know, you should be doing things according to that. So, wow. But for desires,
And,
yes.
and one may imitate, right? Pretend that he's a Shudra and he may imitate that to become a Brahmana.
Yeah.
And he misleads the human society. So,
Yes.
so we have to be very careful, right?
Yes.
Whom we are listening.
Yes. 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 We have to be careful. Yes. It's true.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I just want to know, like, It's true, like if we have desire, we are going to take birth, another birth. But what body we are going to be in next life? So who is going to decide it? Like
That
how
depends
can
on
we
how
know
we
like
have acted in
body?
this life. That depends on how we have acted in this life. Based on our guna and, based on our desire and karma, based on our desire and activity, how we are acting in this life, we get another body. So that's why we are encouraged to at least begin devotional service, to engage in devotional service, so that if one is not able to completely become Krishna conscious, at least one can get human life in the next birth and continue with Krishna consciousness in the next birth also.
Like
If you're not in a human life, you'll never be able to engage in devotional service.
yes, yes.
Right? So we are having, this precious, human body where we can try to progress, right?
Yes, that's right. So we need to continue to regularly hear and chant to help us, to give us that intelligence so that we can, as you said, continue to progress. Yeah.
There's so many attractions that distract you, especially the phone,
Oh, yeah.
the social
That's
media.
true. Oh,
Yeah.
it's true. It's true. It's true. But then Krishna sees that, oh, there's so many distractions, you have so many different desires, yet you're taking time out for me, yet you're hearing about me, yet you're chanting my name. So, Krishna gets touched by that. And then he makes arrangements for one to engage more and more in devotional service. He sees the effort one puts in. And he sees it's hard for us. It is. It's not easy for us. As you rightfully said, there's so many distractions. God. But what can we do? We just do our duties and continue to hear and chant and depend on God.
Today is Radha Ashtami.
Oh,
Yeah, happy
yes.
Radha
Yes.
Ashtami.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So we
Happy
can
wishing
pray
you all the happy
to
Radhashtami.
Radharani and ask for her mercy to show us,
She can do
to
it.
get close to, Krishna.
Yeah, we can pray to Srimati Radharani to give us shelter at her lotus feet. She is Bhakti Devi personified.
Yeah.
We can pray to her to engage us in service of Krishna, to engage us in pure devotional service. We can pray to Srimati Radharani to give us shelter at her lotus feet. Yes. Thank you
And
so much.
just one more
Yes.
thing, like
Yes.
as we read in Bhagavad Gita also, when Krishna says that the best is to remember me always. But then Arjuna says that no, it's not possible for me. How can, it's very, very difficult. Then he's so kind and merciful that he comes down. He brings down, okay, then come one step down. Doesn't matter if you can't remember me, then just offer all the result to me. Whatever you do it as an offering to me. Okay, you can't do this. So there are we are under the shelter of such a Lord who himself is so merciful. If you can't do this, there is this. If you can't do this, there is this. Okay, if you can't do anything, just do anything selflessly, because then slowly and gradually you will come there. So he's the most merciful Radharani and Srimati Radharani and Lord Krishna, they are so merciful that they are there no matter what, just do for them. Because
Yes,
there was
yes.
this very, very great example they gave in the lecture that when a child gets dirty, the father says, oh, no, 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 I can't take him now. Oh, he's so dirty. Can you clean? So then the mother comes running and she cleans the child and she puts back the child again on the lap of father. So it is exactly like us. We are that little child who's filled with anarthas. That dirty child is us. We are filled with anarthas. But if we pray, if we just cry out to Radharani that, oh Hare Ma, please, please, please be there for me, protect me, please hold me, I know I'm full of anarthas. Then she is there, oh please, bachcha hi hai, de do na ise, kya ho gaya? And she'll catch hold of us and put us on the lap of Shri Krishna. So that how merciful they are. But we, filled with anarthas, forget to cry out to them. We think we'll solve our own problems. We'll find the solution to our material problems. We think that we have that capacity, but we don't. So prayers are really, really, really important. We should pray. Our endeavors are there. We should do our endeavors and everything, but still the prayers do the magic. So we should pray for everybody around. And today is the best day.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this great reminder. Thank you.
Thank you.
So
At a
we'll
temple,
stop
they are
here.
celebrating today.
Yes.
At temple,
Today,
they are
yeah.
celebrating today.
11,
Oh,
right?
nice.
11.
Yeah,
Yeah,
at
today
11.
and tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah, today and tomorrow. Yeah, but exactly it is today. So tomorrow also they'll do because they announced it already. That's why.
Yes. Right.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
Hare
good.
Krishna. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. So
Hare
let's
Krishna.
stop here. Shla
Hare
Prabhupada ki
Krishna.
jai.
Hare
Srimad
Krishna.
Bhagavatam ki jai. Gaur Bhaktavinda ki jai.